For most footballers, one Champions League goal defines their career. Gareth Bale scored 3, a Copa del Rey final that had everyone on their feet, a bicycle kick in the Champions League final, followed by the dagger that ended Liverpool's dream in Kiev. Yet, when people talk about Gareth Bale today, all they mention is golf, injuries, and Madrid drama. So the question is simple: how good was Gareth Bale actually? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I'm very excited about today's video. Gareth Bale is just one of those players. If you know, you know, and if you don't know, don't worry, I'm about to let you guys know. So let's just get right into it. The Gareth Bale story didn't start with glory. It started with a curse. Because when Bale arrived to Tottenham in 2007, the club went 24 Premier League games without winning when he played, despite him scoring in just his second game and scoring a free kick against North London rivals Arsenal. For a while, he wasn't seen as a superstar in the making. He was a young left-back struggling to find his place. But then something changed. Tottenham pushed him further up the pitch, and suddenly his game looked different. The pace, the power, the left foot. Bale wasn't just fast, he was a living nightmare. Then came the night that introduced him to the world. On a cold October evening in 2010, Tottenham travelled to the San Siro to face reigning European champions Inter Milan. And standing on the other side of the pitch was Kong, who at the time was widely considered the best right back in the world. On home turf, Inter were already 4-0 up going into the second half. The game was over, but Gareth Bale had other ideas. He tore down the left side of the pitch again, and again, and again. A Champions League hat-trick in the San Siro. Even in defeat, the footballing world had seen enough. Gareth Bale had arrived. By the 2012-13 season, Bale had become a force of his own. He wasn't just Tottenham's best player, he was Tottenham. Goals from 30 yards, last-minute winners, games decided by one moment of pure speed or power. That season, he scored 21 Premier League goals from the wing. He won PFA Player of the Year. And players of such caliber do not go unnoticed. Suddenly, the biggest clubs in the world came calling: Manchester United, Real Madrid. United were even willing to offer more money, but Tottenham chairman Daniel Levy was not interested in strengthening a rival at all, and Gareth Bale had already made his mind up. His heart was set on Madrid, and with a world record transfer fee of 85.3 million, Gareth Bale swapped White Hart Lane for the Bernabeu. Same white shirt, different soil, different standards. Because when Bale arrived in Madrid, expectations were brutal. He wasn't just joining Real Madrid, he was joining Cristiano Ronaldo's Real Madrid. Every touch would be compared, every injury analysed, every missed chance magnified. But Bale didn't take long to deliver one of the most iconic moments in football history. Copa del Rey final, opponents FC Barcelona. The score was 1-1. Bale picked up the ball near the halfway line, knocked it past Marc Bartra, ran off the pitch to get around him, then came back onto the pitch and buried it. It looked impossible, but Gareth Bale made it look inevitable. And Real Madrid had their winner. But Bale's legacy wasn't built on one run. It was built in the Champions League. In 2004, he scored in the final against Atletico Madrid. In 2018, he came off the bench for the final against Liverpool and produced one of the greatest goals the competition has ever seen. A bicycle kick that froze the entire stadium. Then minutes later, another goal from distance that slipped through Karius's hands. Moments that win finals, moments that win history, moments that simply decide legacies. But somewhere along the way, the narrative around Bale began to shift. Injuries, tension with Madrid media, the famous banner that read Wales, Golf, Madrid in that order. Suddenly the conversation wasn't about impact, it was about his attitude. But here's the thing, even through the noise, the numbers never disappeared. 5 Champions League titles, 3 La Ligas, and some of the biggest goals Real Madrid has ever seen. And then there's Wales, a nation waiting 58 years to appear in a major tournament. And in 2016, Gareth Bale led them to the semi-finals of the Euros, where he came face to face with his teammate Cristiano Ronaldo. A run nobody predicted, a run powered by his goals, leadership and belief. For Wales, Bale wasn't just the star, he was the driving force behind an entire nation's joy. He was history. So when we talk about Gareth Bale today, what do we actually remember? The injuries, the golf jokes, the Real Madrid drama, or the player who scored some of the biggest and best goals football has ever seen? A left-back turned winger who combined ungodly speed, power and technique in a way few players ever have. Because the truth about Gareth Bale might just be simpler than narrative suggests. He wasn't just good, he was one of the most decisive big game players of his generation, and maybe one of the most misunderstood. So I'll leave it to you guys. How good was Gareth Bale actually? Thanks for watching another video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. It's always such a pleasure to do players that I've actually seen watched during their prime, and I think Gareth Bale is one of those players that's always really stood out to me. I think he's an incredible player. Despite him playing for Tottenham to begin with, because I am an Arsenal fan, I just love what he did at Real Madrid so much. And there's just so many players like Gareth Bale that just have this stigma behind them. And I feel like as time goes on, people finally start appreciating them again. But yeah, this series kinda is just made to spread light on some of my favourite players of all time that just don't get the credit they deserve. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.